name is Harry, and I'm from London.
Meghan Markle here.
So let's listen to this. There's a couple more down there. Buckingham Palace response.
With the BBC, he spoke in the moments after losing his appeal over the level of security he and his family receive when he's in the UK. He lost that legal battle. He's given the BBC an interview, which we'll hear in just a moment. But first, that reaction from Buckingham Palace to that interview. Our royal correspondent, Sarah Campbell, is with me. Sarah, what have we heard?
Yeah, so Lewis, the decision was effectively taken by the Court of Appeal. They agreed with the decision that Prince Harry's security, which when he was a working member of the royal family, was the same as the King has, the Queen has, the Prince and Princess of Wales, which is full-time security, taxpayer-funded security. Now, when Prince Harry and Meghan made the decision to leave, they had that security level downgraded, and that decision was taken by a body called RAVEC, which is the body which decides on the sort of VIP levels of security. And Prince Harry, in this interview, which, as you say, we are about to hear, very clearly feels that that decision was taken incorrectly, feels that people should have been able, and potentially members of the royal household, should have been able to at least influence that decision so that his security, as a member of the royal family, as somebody who is known to be a target for terrorists, for extremists, that it should have remained high. So that's the main thrust of it. We'll hear what he says in a minute, but we have had a statement in the last few minutes from Buckingham Palace, who are as clear as they can be. All of these issues have been examined repeatedly and meticulously by the courts, and the same conclusion has been reached on each occasion. So that is to say that RAVEC made that decision in the correct way, that the processes were followed, that Prince Harry, unlike what he is arguing, that he was treated as a special case, as sort of a different case, that is not the case, that it was all done completely according to the process. So that's the palace statement.
With the influence of the palace. They're not letting you guys know that, but with the influence of the palace. Because there are some people who works in the palace who's also in RAVEC. And it was revealed during the, before the appeal.
And this interview is long. It's about half an hour long. It's clearly Prince Harry wanting to get his feelings out. He describes himself as being devastated that this decision has gone against him. He talks about the fact that he won't be able to bring Meghan and his children back to the UK because he doesn't feel that he can keep them safe. So it is a devastating day for him, and I think you can see that in his body language. You can see that in the way that he is talking. There is an air of reconciliation. He wants to reconcile with his family, but he talks about this security issue as being the absolute sticking point. It's a fascinating interview.
Okay, we will listen to that. Sarah Campbell for the moment. Thank you very much.
So the interview was half an hour. I don't have all of it in one video clip. It's little bits and pieces. Whatever I'm sharing with you, that's what I got. So this is the next one.
Been in court following this case through, and this is his reaction to the Prince Harry interview.
I sat behind Prince Harry during the 2 days of hearings last month, and I think it was quite hard to understand from the way his case was being put why he was so exercised by this issue of security. He's a well-off guy. He can afford to pay for private security.
With so many things, other example, Kate Moss, Taylor Swift, getting the kind of security that he's asking for. Remember, Harry is the son of the king. He's the son of the king. But the celebrities were able to get it, and he said he was willing to pay for it. As if this was never brought up. Okay.
Now, I thought, and I think this is still the case, but I thought that it was partly because the police have the best intelligence about the threat to him, terrorism, what are called fixated individuals who might have a fixation on Prince Harry. But this interview's added another dimension, which is why it's, I think, so valuable in helping us understand what's going on here. And it's his point that, and this is his quote, it's a case-by-case, it's not a case-by-case basis, it's an either-or. If you're invited to the UK by your family, then we'll give you security. If you come for any other reason, then there's a low amount of security. I think that's what's really driving him. What he's seeing here is the involvement of the royal household in deciding his security, and that is why he's fought so hard in the courts, I think, to get to this point.
And then, like I said at the beginning of this video, they kick him out. They put it in writing. The Simon Case thing, the Syndrome Summit. They give him the either you in or out, waste his time talking about things that was the decision was already made. And then they choose that for him. And then now they're saying for him to come back. I'm like, my goodness. And majority of the public don't know about that because they're not paying attention as much as many of us are.
Thanks to Tom for that. And
Okay,
there will
so
be
this one is
plenty
done.
more reaction, no doubt, in
This one is done. So there's another one here. Oh my God, almost 3 minutes. Oh look, it's Chipstick Jenny who knows that Chuck looks bad, but let's say Harry shouldn't have giving this interview, letting us know they're not speaking to each other. Almost, 3 minutes.
Is how he feels. And he does not believe that he can bring his children back to meet their grandfather, even though, in his own words, he doesn't know how long his father has got to live.
Yes, let's focus on that, because in recent days and weeks, Jenny, we've seen the King perhaps be a little bit more open about his cancer diagnosis. Is that what Harry is alluding to, rather than the King just being in his mid-70s?
Well, I presume that Harry knows a little bit more than the rest of us about what's going on with the King's health. Having said that, the palace are still very upbeat about the King and the direction he's going in with his treatment. And we have just learned today that he and the Queen are going to Canada later this month, and he's going to open the Canadian Parliament. So who knows exactly what's going on with his health there. But Harry clearly would like to come back and see his dad, but they're not even talking to each other. You know, I suspected that behind the scenes it was all very private, or gone very private. You know, in the past, Harry's gone public with any conversations, but I thought perhaps because it was so private, maybe there were some kind of conversations going on. I just really feel for Harry, but I feel for the King as well. To be so estranged from your son, you can't even talk to him because of his case against his own government, the King's own government. Once again, with this royal beat, you couldn't really make it up, could you?
No, the truth is stranger than fiction, that's for sure, Jenny. In terms of the way Harry deals with things, it's described as an emotional interview. He's wearing his heart on his sleeve, it seems. That is in stark contrast to the way the King has been speaking recently about his own challenges, the way the Prince of Wales has been speaking about his own challenges, because let's not forget, his own wife has been dealing with her cancer diagnosis, as well as his own father. Is Harry's approach of doing an interview like this, showing his emotions, baring his soul, going to work, or is it going to backfire?
I suspect the latter. I don't think it will go down particularly well at the palace, or probably within the family. I was speaking of the mistrust that Harry clearly has of the royal household, but trust is the issue that has driven this rift between Harry and his family, because they do not feel that they can trust him to keep private conversations private. And now he's gone so public with his raw emotions over this.
This is the thing I don't understand. The royal family and the tabloid consistently going after him, and they expect him to stay quiet. And then in the future, the institution could say anything that they want. What actually happened is not what was happening. So Harry have to say his side of the story. Oh my Lord.
I think that's going to reinforce their feeling that, you know, what do we do? Pick up the phone and say this, that, and the other. Is that going to be on the BBC or anywhere else within 24 hours? So I don't think it will have helped.
Oh, Lord. They all are baggage for God. Right, so statement from Prince Harry, the office of the Duke of Sussex. I read this already, so that was at the beginning. There's all of that. Okay, what is this here? Okay, Gov Newsom. Okay, I just want you to know, without any fanfare, one of the first volunteers within hours of the fire was Prince Harry and his wife Meghan. California Governor Gov Newsom tells Newsnight the Duke and Duchess of Sussex are proud residents of the state when asked for, let's pause it again, when asked for his reaction to the Prince security legal challenge. Okay, so this is recent.
2 Californians by the name of Harry and Meghan are in the news today because Prince Harry wanted a better security deal in his eyes from the UK. Do you think our country has handled this member of the royal family well?
Well, I'm a little biased. I don't know. And I mean that. I quite literally haven't paid enough attention to how your country has handled it. I will say this. They're proud residents. And I'm proud they're residents of California. And I've gotten to know them. And you talk about those wildfires. I just want you to know, without any fanfare, one of the first volunteers that I saw within hours of the fires was Prince Harry and his wife. And that was a point of pride. They didn't need to be there. And it's not the first time. I've had dozen experiences. And by the way, I'm not exaggerating. 10, 11 experiences similar where the Prince and Meghan have shown up. So that's all I can add to the conversation.
What were they doing in the firefighting crisis?
We've seen the
They
videos.
were doing 2 things. They were showing up for first responders, of which they have a unique connection, and I see that in terms of the rapport. And they were also showing up for the community without being asked. They were there handing out materials and supplies, asking if they can get involved in the food banks and distribution of emergency.
And he's talking from experience because, not personally, well, I don't know all of the details, but his wife, okay, Gov Newsom's wife and Meghan and Prince Harry were giving out water, materials, like he was saying. But at that time, the focus was on his wife, the First Lady of California. Harry and Meghan were right there, behind and next to her, while they were wearing a mask. The camera people did not know. It's until later on during the day, they removed the mask. That's when all of a sudden the camera was focusing on them. Okay? So that's that.
Emergency supplies. I saw that in floods down in Santa Barbara. I saw that in other fires that got less attention in the past. I've had the Prince reach out to me on other causes asking, how can I get involved in a way that doesn't generate all the attention? And that to me is a character test. That's my direct interaction. All the rest, I leave all that noise to others and more objective minds.
So he was talking from first hand, not naysayers. Okay, what's most shocking is the allegation about the firm contacting other countries to stop them giving security to Harry and his kids. Wow. How the hell does cruel King Charles sleep at night knowing his institution deliberately trying to harm 2 innocent children? If he's doing that to other countries, what makes you think he's not doing that right there and with RAVEC? My goodness. What does this say here? The weakest thing a narcissistic parent can do is campaign for family and friends to see their own child as a villain, bringing a human into this world only to bully and torment them. Okay, and this way is the ultimate cowardice. Baggage for God. Baggage for God. Okay, so that's that. Is this true? Where did you get this news from? Let's see, that's Tina. Yes, Harry did say this. I'm assuming he got this from the court case. He said he learned his worst nightmare came true by listening to that court case. So there's more of this. I listened to a whole bunch of clips already, so it's probably little bits and pieces here. Thank God Harry lost this case. I think he knew that he would. And it's always been about exposing Chuck, Willie, and the world establishment. I also think him allowing Birmingham to win Invictus game was part of his strategy. So now when they pull out Chuck, we'll get the blame. Bravo. King Charles the Cruel is a wicked. If he could do this to his own son, what would he do to anyone else? He and the royal household are nefarious. Okay, very evil man. Why no IPP for Hazard? Look like he will have to pay for his own security. Okay, so this is nonsense. Harry already doing that. Sussex squad or the most vile. Okay, so there's the haters here. You have zero proof. Okay, so these are the people who saying they're nonsense. Whew, okay, so I think I'm done. These are some of the responses and the most important things I needed to share with you. I've already did. Oh, so there's one more. There's one regarding Princess Madeleine of Sweden. I think she's living in the US. And there's a video that I came across. Let me add this. And then we'll be done with this video. And later on, if I feel like do more videos, because I have a lot to share with you. So I'm going to edit this once I'm done and share it with you. Listen to Princess Madeleine of Sweden. She's residing in New York, yet her family never took away her security nor needed to sue the Home Office to have it seize. Okay, what's that C stand for? To have it seize. Her father is nothing like a deadbeat, Charles, who's actively involved in trying to Diana Harry's family while keeping Andrew's what's that? Security, I guess. Okay, this one is only 45 seconds.
I can understand their concerns and the critics that they have, but a couple of years ago there was a big decision that they're slimming down and focusing on more my sister, the crown princess, and I think that's many monarchies in Europe are doing that, and with that they slimmed it down and they said, okay, we're focusing more on the crown prince family. So me and my brother, it kind of gave us an opportunity to do other things. So nowadays I don't have that many official duties anymore, or I should not do that many. And they say, okay, now feel free to do other things. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So then I said, okay, I'll do it. I can understand their concerns and the critics that they have.
And it is true as well with the royal family in the UK. They did say they were going to slim down. They did say that before the Queen died, they were going to slim down the monarchy. And then they made the choice for Harry to leave. That's also slimmed down, but I don't know. Okay, she's back living in Sweden with her husband and children. The kids needed to attend Swedish school or they will be removed from the line of succession, but your point still stands. Okay, fair enough, but the Swedish royal family has never for once actively involved in stirring up hatred against her. What's that C stand for? Is that her name? Something, her name starts with a C? Okay, I don't know. She was living in another country. Also, she didn't go because of the maltreatment from her family or being used as a scapegoat, but it was because of slimming monarchy. Okay, of course, the British monarchy prefers to ostracize and punish Harry and his wife for moving on to create a life of their own. Again, it is them who choose that for them. They choose that for him. In the Oprah interview, Harry and Meghan said they were willing to stay.
So in conclusion, if you'd had the support, you'd still be there?
Without question.
Yeah.
I'm sad that what's happened has happened, but I know and I'm comfortable knowing that we did everything that we could to make it work, and we did everything on the exit process the way that it should have been
with
done.
as much respect.
With as much
and,
respect.
Oh my God, we just did everything we could to protect them.
But they choose the life for them.
Barring that, they would only accept option 5. We discussed the 5 options for nearly an hour. At last, the bee got up and went round the table, handing out a draft of a statement the palace would soon be releasing, announcing implementation of option 5. Wait, I'm confused. You've already drafted a statement? Before any discussion? Announcing option 5? In other words, the fix was in this whole time? This summit was just for show? No answer.
Alright, they seem way more sensible and less controlling than those other people. That's what I've noticed about the European monarchies. I really don't know what happened to this one to be this evil. They started since Princess Diana. Actually, way before Princess Diana. Okay, it takes a lot of real genuine love, care, and understanding to make the situation work. The British royals, palace, and press just don't have that in them to make it happen like the Swedish royals. Okay, she's had her problems. I'm sure there will always be problems, but the unnecessary problem they're inflicting on Harry, it's uncalled for. Okay, Princess Madeleine uses private security. Probably the king pays for it, but it's not public security, it's private. What is Harry doing right now? Okay, and then let's pause that one. And another thing, she already used private security because she started being a full-time member of the royal family precisely because she was not the heir to the throne. Okay, the problem in the UK is that the security services says Harry's level of risk has not changed. They have always previously said he needs 24/7 armed protection. Private protection cannot carry weapon in the UK and do not get access to intelligent info about current threats. And the thing is that, again, every branch you look at Harry's situation, the institution are stirring the pot. If they had left Harry alone, let's say they choose that whatever the either you in or you out kind of thing, and they choose that for him to be out, it was documented. What Harry is doing right now, living in the UK, in the US, was the choice the palace made for him. And then once they made that choice for him, if they had left him alone, don't talk to him, whatever, they're not even talking right now anyway, but don't stir the pot, create unnecessary problem for him, that would have been fine. But they consistently going after him. This is the problem for me. And then this is why he's saying he needs armed security. And then there have been people who've been prosecuted because of the inciting violence against him. This is the part that is unfair, at least from my point of view. And this is why he's fighting for the armed security, because the institution is stirring the pot. And there's so many crazy people out there. A lot of those people tends to influence by craziness. Without any second thought, they will go with the crazy nonsense that they're reading on the tabloid. But to put a sensibility, kindness into some of those people, my goodness, you will have to raise mountain and things like that to make them see the sensible aspect of things. But the institution wants to stir the pot. Let's finish it. Let's also highlight that despite her role, I challenge anyone to see her photo and recognize who she is. I had no clue she was a princess. That's not the case with Harry. I think most of the world population will recognize him. That's a very good point. Okay, they could follow this model for royalty, but they choose jealousy and hatred and punishment. Again, that aspect really goes back since the Queen's father died. And remember, when there's division, many of the high-level society, they flourish. So that invisible government that's running around the world pretty much, including in the US, some of them we've known already. Okay, so they're controlling what's happening in the UK. So that UK has been infested, is poisonous. And then they're transferring it in many other places. And I hope Canada, even though they just won their election, and it seems like there's some groups in Canada that's willing to go the same way those MAGAs in the US is. So they better watch out. Even though they win, they better watch out. They meaning whatever's just won the government in Canada. And the next one will have to be France. France better be careful. Okay, all the other countries, the Five Eye, Australia, New Zealand, these two, they better watch out as well. Okay, they could have followed this model. Okay, I read that. Being a pedo is totally fine with Charles. Okay, I'm sure even the Japanese princess who stood down from her role has security still. It is absolutely ridiculous. They're all a baggage for God. So I'm done with this. There's more. I have stuff about Tyler Perry. That would be another video, and I think it's a long thread. Let me show you. Okay, so there's that. Almost 6 minutes, and there's a lot of things. So that will be on another video. I probably will record it on Sunday. I'm gonna edit what I just recorded now. Let's do a prayer. Prayer for lifelong security and protection. Okay, we confess and say unto you, O Lord, that you alone are our refuge, our fortress, and our place of protection from dangers and distress. You are also our stronghold and our defense against our enemies. You are the only God whom we serve, and only in you will be confidently place our trust. Okay? So, God, do your thing. Keep them protected. And, yeah, it's very cool. I mean, many of the squad sort of knew this will be the way the appeal court will go, but we were a little bit hopeful, thinking, okay, maybe 3 judges will see the cruelty of the RAVEC and everything else that was revealed, where the firm has people within RAVEC, where RAVEC is not making sole decision without being influenced. You would have thought those 3 judges would get it, but God, everything, we're bottling it up, put it in a package, give it to you. It's for you to handle. Okay? May God continue to protect the Sussexes, all of them. Thank you for watching.
It is a great privilege to be with all of you today.
You know, we ask for forgiveness and please come back.
As you saw me find the love and happiness that I'd hoped for all my life. You are all in this together, and if I may speak personally, we are all in this together, because asking for help was one of the best decisions that I ever made. You will be continually amazed how life changes for the better